think it's possible to love two men at the same time?
That's the question Bianca asked her life coach as she lay back on the plush chocolate brown leather sofa that adorned the very stylish office. Deshawn Davis had been a certified life coach for the last 3 years. She changed her career because she was mentally burned out from her dead-end job at the telephone company and decided she wanted to capitalize on the free tuition they offered. She decided to go back to school at the age of 30. She knew she was destined to help people. So she went to divinity school and acquired her degree. After that, she was sure she didn't want to be a pulpit minister, but she felt she would work better with people one-on-one. She attended a women's conference led by a successful life coach. It was there that she received the vision to become a life coach. She figured she could try to save some souls while coaching her clients. She thought she would get filthy rich off of her friends alone. And if they referred people they knew, she would be a millionaire by 40. It seemed everyone around her was going through some type of struggle in their lives. Either their marriages were falling apart, they were trying to get married, their baby daddies were acting crazy, or they just plain hated their lives. But whatever the situation was, Deshawn was sure to have a master plan to help them get over it. She was no stranger to crazy. Her life had not been a walk in the park. But with her faith and her strong upbringing, she was able to overcome her obstacles and use her life lessons to help her clients. She could pretty much relate to most of what her clients were going through, except the baby daddy drama. At 35, she was still childless. Her marriage of 13 years had ended just 2 years ago. And she considered herself blessed to have not had kids with her ex-husband. As she was listening to her client talk about her marital problems, she thought back to how unhappy she was in the last few years of her marriage and how she did everything she could to hold on, but she just couldn't bear that misery. Their marriage seemed perfect to everyone on the outside, but it was a totally different story behind closed doors. Deshawn was sleeping with the enemy. As she thought back to the verbal abuse she endured while in that marriage, all she could do was thank God that he delivered her from that foolishness before she got too old to move on. Deshawn was lost in her thoughts and was about to scream, "Thank you, Jesus!" But she realized she had drifted off into thought and really wasn't paying Bianca any attention.
Deshawn, are you listening to me?
Bianca whined.
Yes, Bianca, I'm listening, and yes, I do believe it's possible to love two men at the same time. However, it's not healthy to do so.
But why?
Bianca said.
I mean, I love them both, but in different ways.
As if that statement would justify her blatant marital infidelity.
I understand, Bianca.
Deshawn said after giving her a strange look and jotting something down on her notepad.
But how much longer do you think you're going to be able to juggle both of these men at the same time? Not to mention, while you can love two men at the same time, you can only be in love with one person at a time.
I've been doing a good job at it so far.
Bianca smiled, and she gave herself kudos for being able to hold a relationship down with her husband of 12 years, as well as her ex-boyfriend from almost 20 years ago. Bianca was 37, had 3 kids, and adored the family life she and her husband shared together. However, over the years she had become bored with the same old mundane life she was leading. She was a great mother and wife. She had been a school teacher for the last 10 years and was starting to get bored with that as well. It seemed to Deshawn that Bianca just wanted a change and had no idea on how to pursue it.
Bianca, are you listening to me? I just said you can only be in love with one person at a time. This means you're not doing a good job. You're creating more chaos in your life. It's also very evident that you're a little mixed up about what love really is. The truth is, you're supposed to love everyone you come in contact with. However, loving someone and being in love with them are two totally different things. So what you need to do is figure out if what you're feeling for your ex is love or lust. Because if you find that you truly are in love with your ex, it would mean that you're not in love with your husband. And when you can figure that one out, you'll reach a huge breakthrough in your life.
Wow. Bianca said with a very puzzled look on her face.
I never looked at it that way. I've been with my husband so long, I just assumed I was in love with him. But maybe I'm not, because when I'm with my ex, I feel something totally different. When we are together, it feels like we're the only two people on earth. We could be in a crowded room, and he makes me feel like I'm the only person there. We gaze into each other's eyes, and we can talk to each other for hours without stopping. I've never done any of those things with my husband. I never felt this way about him, even when we were dating.
Bianca shook her head as she realized she may have never truly been in love with her husband.
So what are you saying? I was never in love with my husband?
Bianca, I haven't said a word. You're doing all of the talking. All I did was point out some facts to you. It looks like you came to this conclusion all on your own. So how does that make you feel that you've been married to someone all of these years and may have never been in love with?
Michonne asked as she took notes on her iPad. This was the breakthrough she had been waiting for since Bianca started counseling.
I feel terrible. Almost like I've wasted 12 years of my life with a man I've never really loved.
Well, no, let's not use the word waste. No time spent should ever be considered a waste. You have stayed married to your husband all this time for something. And don't say you never were in love with him, because you had to feel something when you married him and had 3 kids with him. Let me let you in on a little secret, Bianca. Three's a crowd. You allowed a third party to enter into your marriage. This ex-boyfriend is giving you the illusion that you're in love with him, when really it sounds like some high school lust that's been brought back to life. So before you go making any major decisions, I think you need to dissect the situation and dig deep into your soul to find out what's really going on inside of your heart. I think we made a major breakthrough today, but I'm going to suggest you continue coming in once a week until we can get a better handle on what's really going on.
Coach, you are the best, and I believe you're right. 3 years and proud. The question is, how do I let go of a man that I've loved since I was 17 years old?
Have you ever stopped to think maybe you were not really in love with him, with your ex? At 17, we are not mature enough to know what real love is all about. You were a child back then. Now you're a grown woman. Certainly, some things about the both of you have changed. Trust me, we will get to the bottom of this so you can make the right decisions for your well-being. But our session is done for today. I've taken in some great assessments, and we will continue next week during the next session.
Wow, Michonne, I'm truly glad I've chose you as my life coach. I feel really comfortable talking to you. Take care, and I'll see you next week.
Michonne said goodbye as she mumbled to herself.
Yes, that's the problem. Everybody and their grandmother feels comfortable talking to me about their problems, but I have problems of my own nobody can possibly understand. Thank you, everybody. One more person I would like to present, and that would be my best friend, Miss K.K. Henson, who wrote this beautiful poem in verse in the front of your book, and she's going to come over and read it.